Batman Mask of the Phantasm was released in 1993. And in this movie, Batman and Bruce Wayne face their biggest test yet as a mysterious figure is taking out the criminals of Gotham and an old flame returns to Bruce's life. This movie is iconic. You know, when you talk about the best Batman movies, you can talk about The Dark Knight, you can talk about The Batman, you can talk about Batman 89 or Batman Returns, whatever. But for me, the best Batman movie will always be Batman Mask of the Phantasm. After all these years, it has still remained my favorite Batman movie, and it absolutely breaks my heart that this movie bombed at the box office. And it's all thanks to Warner Brothers, because for those of you that don't know, the reason why this movie flopped at the box office is because they rushed the production of this movie. They're like, okay, just make this movie happen. So they made it happen, and the fact that we got this movie was incredible. Then they decided, you know what, at the last second, let's make it a theatrical release. So they made a theatrical release with no marketing, no nothing. It just came out for a limited time during Christmas, and that was it. And then Warner Brothers was shocked that it bombed at the box office. Some things never change. It just angers me so much because I know if this movie came out today, it would easily make $1 billion at the box office. Well, let's talk about the positives on why this movie remains a classic to this day. And one thing I truly love is how much they focus on the Bruce Wayne side of the Batman character. I have always said that the best superhero movies always focus on the human side of the character rather than the superhero side. Kevin Conroy truly changed how the Batman character is, because before Kevin Conroy took over, there really was no two different characters, but when he took over, he pitched that, hey, I think Bruce Wayne and Batman should be two different people. I think Batman should be this dark, brooding hero, while Bruce Wayne is this playboy millionaire, you know, who doesn't have a care in the world. Because of Kevin Conroy, Bruce Wayne and Batman are two different characters, and to this day, that character has remained the same, and it's all because of Kevin Conroy. This movie is also very similar to Batman Year One. I believe Year One came out in 1988 by Frank Miller, and this came out in 1993. So there were some homages to Year One. And I love this rendition of Batman's origin because I like the decision that Bruce makes to become Batman and why fear was such a big part of the Batman mythos and presence around the criminals of Gotham. It is always a great story when Bruce Wayne and Batman's worlds collide, hence why I do like the storyline of Andrea and Bruce Wayne's romance. You know, with the romance being such a big part of the movie, and also Bruce's vow being a big part of the movie, I think my favorite scene has to be when he's at his parents' grave, stormy night in Gotham, it's raining everywhere, and Bruce is begging and pleading with his parents to forgive him and let him go back on his vow. That is such a powerful scene, and it's all because of Kevin Conroy's voice acting, and there's a reason why Kevin Conroy said this is still his favorite scene he ever did for Batman. I mean, to see Bruce Wayne and Batman, like a character that you feel like is immovable, like that is incorruptible, just sitting at his parents' grave crying and begging them to forgive him because he still feels the guilt of his parents' death, and the fact that he also feels guilty for feeling happy, that is such a horrible feeling, and you get so emotional and you just want to hug Bruce. And again, it's all because of Kevin Conroy's fantastic acting. And yeah, let's talk about the voice acting. Kevin Conroy is Batman. He will always be Batman for me. You can argue about what your favorite Batman is, whatever. The definitive Batman, and it shouldn't be an argument, is Kevin Conroy. He is somebody that understood the character of Batman and Bruce Wayne more than anybody, and I'm including Bob Kane and Bill Finger, because if you look at the original rendition of Batman whenever it came out, it is not what Batman is today, and you would not like the old... There's a reason why people don't really like the old school Batman comics that came out in like the 40s. But because of Kevin Conroy's idea of having two separate characters, having Batman be kind of a two-faced character, it's all because of him that this character is the way he is. And I'm just so thankful that he was given the opportunity to be Batman, because I can't imagine, nor do I want to imagine anybody else playing the role. The same goes with Mark Hamill. I mean, he will always be the Joker for me. He is haunting as the Clown Prince of Crime, and his laugh still remains possibly the best laugh in animation and movie history. Now, this movie also brings a semi-origin of the Joker, and if you're wondering on my opinion, I do like it when I don't really know the origins of the Joker, but in this we find out that he was part of a gang that, you know, one by one starts getting taken out by the Phantasm, hence why Joker is put in this movie, and he turns out to be the big bad guy at the end. Of course he is. But I do like that we also get another layer to Joker's character. It just seems like every time I read a comic or a movie or, you know, watch an animated show, there's always something more to the Joker. Just when you feel like you have him figured out, there's a whole nother layer to him. And I think this universe, this Batman animated universe Joker is so wonderful. I love the semi-origin where you can kind of see where he's coming from. Like, oh, this is how he started, but you still don't know how he became the Clown Prince of Crime. So that was just a genius job there by the animators and the creators. And again, Mark Hamill, fantastic as the Joker. He will always, always be Joker to me. The art style is another huge positive. I mean, come on, look at it. It's perfect! I absolutely miss this type of animation. Hand-drawn animation does hold a special place in my heart. And, you know, it's just when you look at the scenery and the animation of this movie, I mean, live-action movies couldn't even dream to recreate scenery like this. What I also love about the animation itself is Phantasm. You know, when you look at this movie, Phantasm is a villain that very much has a lot of horror elements, and I am a big horror movie guy, and Phantasm, Joker, and especially Kevin Conroy's Batman all bring gothic elements to this movie, hence why it makes Mask of the Phantasm stand out from the rest of the Batman animated movies. And, you know, speaking on the Joker, like I said, Joker was the big bad guy at the end of this movie, and I also love the twist, because this movie starts off as a whodunit movie, and I am a sucker for a whodunit movie. And the fact that the twist is done so well, there are multiple twists in this movie, and they're all executed perfectly, and the climax of this movie is incredible. It still is up there, and I will put it against any animated or live-action movie as one of the best finales I have ever seen. It's such a haunting ending to see Gotham blown to smithereens and Joker is just laughing while all the flames are surrounding them and then he disappears with Phantasm. Like, that is just cinema at its finest. And yeah, obviously I'm giving this movie an A+. I mean, come on, Batman Mask of the Phantasm is a staple in the superhero genre. It is still one of the best superhero movies ever made, and I'm including in the live action aspect. It is really that good. Now, before I end this review, I do want to talk about somebody. I want to talk about Kevin Conroy. Earlier this year, Kevin Conroy did pass away, and yeah, it hurt. It hurt a lot. Now, I am proud to say that I got to meet him earlier this year at a Comic-Con, and I remember we were all waiting in line, and he jumped up on the table and he did the, "I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman," and we all lost our mind. I got to meet him. He signed my Funko right here, and I got to ask him about Batman Beyond and what what it was like to work on that and how he looks back at it, and we took a picture. I'm so happy I got to meet him, and I told him before I left, I just want to say, look, I know you hear this 1,000 times a day, but I just want to say thank you for making my childhood the best. You're a hero of mine. Thank you. And he grabbed my shoulder and he said, "Hey, it was my pleasure, man," and then he went back to sign other autographs, and yeah, man, it hurts. It hurts a lot, but I'm just very happy I got to meet him because, you know, Batman is such a big part of my life, and he was a big part of my life. You know, growing up, I only watched a couple of things growing up, and Batman was one of them, specifically his. And, you know, playing the Arkham games, watching the movies, the shows, he was Batman. He was Batman. Anytime I read a comic, I read it in his voice. So, you know, even though he is gone, he's never leaving us, because anytime we read a comic, anytime we play the Arkham games, anytime we watch this movie or the animated series, he's always with us. So, Kevin, I just want to say thank you for everything. Thank you for making my childhood truly the best possible, and you made Batman fans, superhero fans, you just made our lives so much better. And you were also a fantastic human being, and people should aspire to be just like you. So I do want to close this by saying rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. You will always be vengeance. You will always be the night. You will always be Batman.